depression too.
Well, that's why I've asked you. That's why I asked you that question. I kind of knew the answer from the last segment, but speaking for myself, I've never had an adjustment. Mm-hmm. I never felt I needed an adjustment, but my sleep habits are all screwed up. I'm not depressed, clinically depressed,
right? But
I'm just all over the place when it comes to mood swings or whatnot, or stress level, and I think that stemmed from my sleep habits.
Yeah, and most people report after their first few adjustments that they just feel, if they're not in pain, and that's not the reason why they do it, they just simply feel more at ease. They can't describe it, but they're more at ease. It's easier to lay down and sleep. It's easier to get rest. It's easier to just be calm when you're supposed to be calm.
You just debunked a big myth I had. Because you think chiropractic care, well, it's for back problem or this and that.
It's great for that.
Now the next question, how do you find someone that you could trust? Because just like any doctor out there, there's the good ones and the bad ones. And the bad ones, unfortunately, give the good ones a bad name.
Right. What I can say about chiropractors is any of them that are licensed are going to be sufficient at doing the adjustment. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean they're necessarily going to do the appropriate adjustment necessarily in all cases. So I would say find one that's studied neurology postdoctorally, which I have. I have 200 plus hours after my doctorate where I've studied just neurology. Mm-hmm. So I've studied that a lot. I've studied a lot of nutrition and functional medicine, a lot of exercise physiology. Because I think it's important. We need to be more than just manipulators of the spine. We need to understand how the body works and how to most effectively and most efficiently deliver this adjustment. If it's as powerful as we say it is, then we need to maybe realize that maybe doing it on the wrong side of the body or to the wrong segments might not be so good or potentially could cause some harm. If something's that powerful, you need to be...
Well, it's definitely a subject that we need to discuss more. For sure, and really get into the real heart of it.
Right.
And many.
Find you?
CompleteHealthDallas.com is my website. That's got my contact information. They can also call my number is 972-735-0707. I've got an office where I do a lot of weight loss, nutrition, and I certainly do chiropractic as part of the overall maintaining and balancing people's health. Sometimes
and do it well.
I try to.
And you do it well.
I think so.
Okay, so let's talk about the top 5 ingredients to stop eating now. For people out there listening, I don't like to tease someone and then not give them what I told them.
When you showed me this, I thought, it's going to be like saturated fat, and I was kind of rolling my eyes. But then I saw this list. I was like, no, that's really a good list.
No. Okay, so number 1 is partially hydrogenated or hydrogenated oils.
Yeah,
let's talk about it.
The worst fat in the world,
which are in breads and crackers and cookies and all those things you have to. I know, Jill, and we talk about this all the time. But read the label, but elaborate for us if you would.
Okay, they take polyunsaturated fats that in their natural raw form are very healthy for us. They make the lining of all of our cells in our body. So there are things like fish oils, for example, would be a polyunsaturated fat. The things that you get from that are naturally in vegetables or grape seeds or grapeseed oils, peanut oils, nut and seed oils. They're all polyunsaturated fat, your omega-3s and your omega-6s. They take those things and they put them under high heat, high pressure, and then they inject hydrogen into those things, and they make them more like a saturated fat. Now, saturated fat's not necessarily bad if it's a real natural saturated fat, but these things kind of are unsaturated fats, but they kind of look like saturated fats.
Right.
So they have different properties. The problem is your body sees these things, and it puts these things that are now kind of like saturated fats in the places where unsaturated fats are supposed to be, like in the lining of your cells, where you're supposed to have a lot of fluidity. Mm-hmm. So nutrients can flow in, toxins can flow out of your cells.
Right.
And all of a sudden, they've put these hydrogenated fats in there that they don't have a bent structure like unsaturated fats have. They're bent. They're very straight. They're very stiff. They're very rigid, and they can pack in real tightly. Imagine a bunch of bent. You've seen those little pencils that have the bend on the end. You imagine grabbing 10 of those and squeezing them together. You can't get them to pack really tight, so there's a lot of flow. Now imagine
it just seems very unnatural.
But that's what a regular fat is like. It's got the bends in it. So when you put them in your cells, they don't pack so tightly. There's fluidity flowing through it. There's gaps that things can flow through. Now imagine straightening those things out perfectly straight like your regular wooden pencils and grabbing 10 of those and squeezing together. You can pack those almost airtight together, right?
Right.
That's what happens in your cells when you eat hydrogenated oils. Your cell membranes become very stiff and nothing can flow in. The good stuff can't flow in and the bad stuff can't flow out. So your cells basically become diseased.
Jill says they're toxic fats that can slow weight loss, increase inflammation, cause fat gain, and potentially damage the heart.
Heart disease, cancer, you name it, Alzheimer's, any kind of neurological disorders.
Right. So
they are horrible.
Partially hydrogenated or hydrogenated oil, stay away from it.
And they're very inflammatory too.
And that's yes, absolutely, increased inflammation. And I think that's part of what's got. Not that I ever ate, but I've been being very careful what I eat. Very, very careful.
And it shows.
I always have.
It shows.
I always have, but I thank you. But I've really stepped it up a notch, and I feel so much better.
Your face
I really,
looks better.
really do.
Your arms look better, and that's all I can see.
Well, okay. All right. High fructose corn syrup.
Okay, yeah. Imagine alcohol without the buzz.
Alcohol without the buzz.
Yeah,
wow,
so
I've never heard it referred to as that.
That's what the liver sees when it's trying to process it. Your liver metabolizes high fructose corn syrup just like it does alcohol. Beyond a very finite limit of liver processing, it becomes a poison to your liver, poison to your brain. It causes fatty liver, raises your triglycerides, becomes neurotoxic to the brain and toxic to the liver, can cause cirrhosis of the liver, and it makes you very fat and makes you go into metabolic syndrome where you have high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high triglycerides, high cholesterol, high all those stuff you don't want high.
And Jill says, don't be fooled. It's a cheap sweetener, and the media is trying to make it out to be a healthy sweetener because it's natural, supposedly natural. Right. Overconsumption, as you say, can increase risk of fat, weight gain, and elevated blood pressure.
Yeah, sugar makes you fat. High fructose corn syrup makes you fatter and ruins your entire body. If you think it's natural, just simply Google, how is high fructose corn syrup made? And you will quickly see there's nothing natural about that process.
Right. So read the label. Stay away from it. Artificial sweeteners is number 3. The blue, the pink, and the yellow packets, also known as, we won't say, you all know what they are. They all
but
have
generically aspartame.
Yeah. So,
we don't have to say brand names.
Yeah.
But aspartame is the chemical.
Right. Which is also disguised sometimes as phenylalanine.
Phenylalanine. It's one of the compounds. It's one of the components of it.
Okay.
But it's not the only thing.
Right.
Aspartate, phenylalanine, and.
But don't they sometimes try to put that on there and almost disguise it?
They might.
Or used to be able to. Maybe the FDA has changed it.
But it's not just phenylalanine. It's several other things also. And it's okay. These are the 3 things that result, like right off the top of my head, from aspartame. You get neurostimulation to the point of brain cell death. You get formaldehyde production because that's one of the compounds turns into formaldehyde, and the other compound turns into methanol, which causes blindness. It's like wood alcohol. It's not the kind that you can drink.
Right. And then you had people say, oh, well, that's an extreme if you ingest, thousands of pounds of it. They test it in laboratory rats. Only if you, have mass consumption of these products will you have any trouble. But it's simply not true.
It was originally banned by the FDA, and then some shady things happened to get it finally
I read a couple of books about it. It is very interesting how
don't touch aspartame.
How it all went down, and there's some very deep pockets in this country.
Yes.
Okay, so artificial food colorings, stay away from them, and MSG, because we are out of time. You have been listening to Dr. Jeremy Webster from CompleteHealthDallas.com. You can reach him at 972-735-0707. That's 972-735-0707.
Would you say you're slightly less skeptical about chiropractic now?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. You get one body, you get one mind, you get one life. Glenn Beck will be here in a second. Get out there and make the most of it.